IMF has lowered India's economic growth projection for the current fiscal to 5.9% from 6.1% earlier. Yet India will continue to be one of the fastest growing economies in the world. In its annual World Economic Outlook, the IMF also lowered the forecast for 2024-25 fiscal to 6.3% from 6.8% that it had predicted in January this year. With IMF growth forecast, it's lower the projections also given by the Reserve Bank of India, where RBI sees a 6.4% GDP growth in the current fiscal that started on the 1st of this month. Despite a significant drop in the growth rate projections from 6.8% in 2022 to 5.9%, India, however, continues to be one of the fastest growing economies, as China's growth rate is also projected to be at around 5.2% in 2023 and 4.5% in 2024, against its growth rate of 3% in 2022. On the surface, the global economy appears to be poised to a gradual recovery from the powerful blows of the pandemic and also Russia's unprovoked war on Ukraine. Now, if we talk about the Union Minister of Commerce and Industry, Piyush Goyal has invited the French businessmen to invest in India, highlighting ways to further deepen the India-France partnership and to realize the tremendous opportunities it offers. As Piyush Goyal and Olivier Becht of France's minister, a delegate of the Foreign Trade Attractiveness and French Nationals Abroad, co-chaired the India-France Business Summit commemorating 25 years of India-France friendship on Tuesday in Paris.
We're joined now by Union Commerce Minister, Mr. Piyush Goyal, who's here in Rome. Mr. Piyush Goyal, you've had engagements with different companies today. How has the trip been so far? And in terms of the actual investments or the economic developments of this particular trip, how are you looking at this entire tour?
Well, it's been a very exciting day. A lot of meetings with serious investors who are looking at India for significant engagement in the months and years to come. Encouraging investment and trade is a process. You don't have a switch on off that you have a meeting today and tomorrow things start. But certainly the interest that we've been able to generate, both through the many bilateral meetings that I had, through our business summit, India-France Business Summit, and finally through the CEO roundtable with 40 top companies from India and France. All of it put together have clearly demonstrated that France and French companies are looking at engaging significantly with India. They're looking at India as a base of growth for Africa, for Southeast Asia and other parts of the world. They see the large Indian domestic market, and they also see that with the huge talent pool we have in India, they'll be able to get goods and services back to Europe at more affordable prices.
Right. So two questions related to your department. One is, there's been speculation in the UK media regarding the UK free trade agreement. Where do things stand? Is there a go slow? And secondly, how do you see the IMF, whose projections have been lowered slightly?
Well, we don't comment on speculation. And I think we've had enough and more news coming out through the last year and a half on the India-UK negotiations. The negotiators are doing their job. I think the press is only looking for headlines.
Yes, and what about IMF, sir?
What about the IMF?
Projection, the lowered projections that have come in today? How do you see that?
I think the IMF keeps giving projections which they keep increasing, then they keep reducing. We are confident about our performance. We are confident about the good work that is happening in India. We can see the energy when we are talking to Indian industry, when we are talking to international investors. The enthusiasm is truly palpable, and therefore I think we'll allow our own bodies like the Reserve Bank of India and our Ministry of Finance and its arms, our economic advisor, and all of them to make the right projections. And as you might have observed, they always make very consistent, steady projections. They don't go drastically up and drastically down, which is actually unnecessary.